welcome back to Mrs. B Reads. We are working on wonder, and we are in Jack's point of view, reading letters, emails, Facebooks, and texts on page 160. And we are on the lookout for aha moments, when a character has a sudden realization. And aha moments can point to two things. What can they point to? Theme or?
Character. Conflict.
Conflict. You got it. Good. Okay. So this next section is pretty interesting because it's written in letters and texts and emails. You got to kind of look at the timestamps, okay? Look at how it all goes. December 18th. Dear Mr. Tushman, I am very, very sorry for punching Julian. It was very, very wrong for me to do that. I am writing a letter to him to tell him that too. If it's okay, I would really rather not tell you why I did what I did because it does not really make it right anyway. Also, I would rather not make Julian get in trouble for having said something he should not have said. Very sincerely, Jack Will. December 18th. Dear Julian, I am very, very, very sorry for hitting you. It was wrong of me. I hope you are okay. I hope your grown-up tooth grows in fast. Mine always do. Sincerely, Jack Will. December 26th, so 8 days later. Dear Jack, thank you so much for your letter. One thing I've learned after being a middle school director for 20 years, there are almost always more than two sides to every story. Although I don't know the details, I have an inkling about what may have sparked the confrontation with Julian. While nothing justifies striking another student ever, I also know good friends are sometimes worth defending. This has been a tough year for a lot of students, as the first year of middle school usually is. Keep up the good work. And being the fine boy we all know you are. All the best, Lawrence Tushman, Middle School Director. This is an email to Lawrence Tushman at Beecher School. CC, do you know what CC means? Carbon copy. It means you send the same thing as a copy to other people. So they're CCing John Will and Amanda Will. Those are Jack's parents. From Melissa Albans. Do you know who Melissa Albans is?
Jack's mom.
Julian's mom. Okay? Subject, Jack Will. Dear Mr. Tushman, I spoke with Amanda and John Will yesterday, and they expressed their regret at Jack's having punched our son Julian in the mouth. I am writing to let you know that my husband and I support your decision to allow Jack to return to Beecher Prep after a 2-day suspension. Although I think hitting a child would be valid grounds for expulsion in other schools. Do you know what expulsion means? Getting expelled, getting thrown out. I agree, such extreme measures aren't warranted here. We have known the Will family since our boys were in kindergarten and are confident that every measure will be taken to ensure this doesn't happen again. She uses big words, doesn't she? To that end, I wonder if Jack's unexpectedly violent behavior might have been a result of too much pressure being placed on his young shoulders. I am specifically speaking of the new child with special needs, who both Jack and Julian were asked to befriend. In retrospect, and having now seen the child in question at various school functions and in the class pictures, I think it may have been too much to ask of our children to be able to process all that. Certainly, when Julian mentioned he was having a hard time befriending the boy, we told him he was off the hook in that regard. Do you know what off the hook means? What does it mean?
It means that that he's not in trouble.
He doesn't have to do it. He's not in trouble for not doing it. Good, right. We think the transition to middle school is hard enough without having to place greater burdens or hardships on these young, impressionable minds. I should also mention that, as a member of the school board, I was a little disturbed that more consideration was not given during this child's application process to the fact that Beecher Prep is not an inclusion school. Do you know what an inclusion school means, John?
Special needs.
It means that they accept everybody, regardless of your learning differences or your learning style or your physical differences. Everybody gets to come. Our school is an inclusion school. You live here, you get to come here. All right? Because everybody's welcome. That's inclusion. All right. Boopity bop bop bop. Where am I? Not an inclusion school. There are many parents, myself included, who question the decision to let this child into our school at all. At the very least, I am somewhat troubled that this child was not held to the same stringent application standards i.e. interview, that the rest of the incoming middle school students were best Melissa Perper Albans. Well, here comes an email from Mr. Tushman to Mrs. Albans, and he is CCing Jack's parents. Dear Mrs. Albans, thanks for your email outlining your concerns. Were I not convinced that Jack Will is extremely sorry for his actions, and were I not confident that he would not repeat those actions, rest assured that I would not be allowing him back to Beecher Prep. As for your other concerns regarding our new student, August, please note that he does not have special needs. He is neither disabled, handicapped, nor developmentally delayed in any way, so there was no reason to assume anyone would take issue with his admittance to Beecher Prep, whether it is an inclusion school or not. In terms of the application process, the admissions director and I both felt it within our right to hold the interview off-site at August's home for reasons that are obvious. We felt that this slight break in protocol was warranted, but in no way prejudicial in one way or another. So that means, like, they thought it was okay to go have the interview at August's house rather than have August come into school to be interviewed. Does that make sense? Okay. No way prejudicial in one way or to another to the application review. August is an extremely good student and has secured the friendship of some truly exceptional young people, including Jack Will. At the beginning of the school year, when I enlisted certain children to be a welcoming committee to August, I did so as a way of easing his transition into a school environment. I did not think asking these children to be especially kind to a new student would place any extra burdens or hardships on them. In fact, I thought it would teach them a thing or two about empathy and friendship and loyalty. As it turns out, Jack Will didn't need to learn any of these virtues. He already had them in abundance. What's he not saying here, Charlotte?
That he like punched you, that talking about.
Jack Will didn't need to learn empathy, friendship, and loyalty. He already has these virtues. But who doesn't? Julian. And that's unsaid. There is a lot that's implied in this letter. You have to kind of hear it. Do you know what I mean? Thank you again for being in touch. Sincerely, Lawrence Tushman. That's a very polite way of saying in your face, Mrs. Albans. Okay. Here comes a letter from Jack's dad to Julian's mom. Hi, Melissa. Thank you for being so understanding about this incident with Jack. He is, as you know, extremely sorry for his actions. I hope you do accept our offer to pay Julian's dental bills. We are very touched by your concern regarding Jack's friendship with August. Please know we've asked Jack if he felt any undue pressure about any of this, and the answer was a resolute no. He enjoys August's company and feels like he's made a good friend. Hope you have a happy new year. John and Amanda Will. I'm going to pause there and do this video in 2 parts.